Hello, and welcome to another update video on Ethereum. Before we dive into the nanostructures, we will take a look at the daily time frame first. And here on the daily chart, we can still see that the market is strong and remains strong. Now, someone asked me, I think it was actually on X, if I could communicate how the blue scenario would actually play out, which means how would that larger correction play out? Well, it really is just a placeholder for a bearish scenario or a scenario in which we fail a direct breakout to the upside. See, this blue scenario allows for the interpretation that this wave 4 that bottomed in June 22 is actually still unfolding. And there are a few ways, one is a W, X, Y structure. And we're now in the Y wave, which is an A, B, C structure. So that B wave is getting close to an invalidation point because it shouldn't really break above the X wave high from May. But that, we need to think about, is this actually the scenario that makes sense now? Well, not as long as we have upside momentum, right? So that is why we're tracking on the smaller time frame support. So focusing on a scenario like that doesn't make sense until we really have a setup that supports it. Like on the smaller time frame, we would need to see a break of support, ideally in 5 waves. Right, I think that support area is currently around $3,090. So we're going to take a look at that on the smaller time frame. Against that level, the trend is up, right? Now it could also be, and that's just something else I haven't shown here. I think I have it on my larger time frame chart, on the weekly chart. This could be a triangle.
Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our Gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area.
I mean, couldn't this whole thing be a triangle? A wave down, B wave up, C wave down, D wave up, and then a higher low in an E wave, and then we go up. That is probably what I would actually track first if we break upper micro support. But, as long as we are still holding above upper support, there's no real need to focus on that. Now, at the moment, the white scenario is leading, it remains leading, and I remain focused on further upside. So we're looking for prices to go higher as per this white scenario, ideally to reach the $4,100 level next. That remains my view. And then $4,400 plus as well to really wrap up this entire move to the upside from the April low. That would give us a clean ABC structure, which, by the way, is fully in line with what Bitcoin is doing. Have you noticed that this is also an ABC structure? It's funny how the entire structure is different, but from the April low, it all aligns. That's pretty good. So nice confluence there, right? Also on the Bitcoin chart, we would like to see this third wave complete, then have a fourth wave and a fifth wave, right? So let us take a look at the smaller time frame for Ethereum. And here you can see on the shorter time frame, the 15-minute chart, that we're still tracking 2 scenarios. I mean, I'm still tracking here, let's say, a scenario in which, a scenario in which we are already moving up in wave 5. That's the yellow scenario. And then a scenario in white in which we could revisit lower support, but I haven't got any downside momentum follow through. So yellow remains very probable given that the last pullback was corrective looking and we are actually holding support. I already talked about that in the last video. I think late yesterday when I made that video about Ethereum, we already saw support holding. So I have no reason to believe that the white scenario is playing out because the pullback is extremely corrective and it doesn't really look like a C wave down unless it really forms here some kind of a diagonal pattern, which is super speculative. So, I mean, the move up is also a diagonal, but I have to say this white scenario is very constructed. It would require an immediate downturn, and then we will focus on the blue zone, right? For now, we have a reaction to Fibonacci support, but what I said in the member update earlier today is we only have 3 waves up. So In Elliott wave language, that means I don't really have a confirmed low yet. By the way, we also haven't cleared any significant resistance like 3,885 and 3,940. Now, once we get above these levels, it should become clearer that we're on our way to $4,100. That is still my view that we should get there. And the market, yeah, might be on its way. Just not super clear because this is just a three-wave move up. Now, again, in the yellow scenario, this whole move up is considered a diagonal pattern. So we cannot really rely on the development of impulsive subwave structures because everything could be a diagonal. Even this C wave could be a diagonal. So, yeah, I mean, for now, to keep the yellow scenario alive, the Wednesday low must hold, which formed around $3,675. And the upside pressure can remain high against that level. And the next resistances I already mentioned. So let's see if we can take the price to 4,100 plus. If we break below yesterday's low, then this area between 3,587 and 3,386 is going to be next micro support. Now, the larger support I mentioned, which is actually relevant in this whole correction, is at 3,091. But we're not even close to that. So we're focusing really on the nanostructures to determine like micro pivots and support levels that guide us. That's the update on Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.